I absolutely adored Have You Got Any Castles. I love animations where book characters come to life. And this is exactly what we get with this one. This was released in 1938, directed by Frank Tashlin, and we have various voices including Mel Blanc, the four Blackbirds, Delos, Jewkes, Ted Pierce, and Georgia Stark. Delos Jewkes voices Old King Cole, and I have to say Old King Cole in this one is my favourite. There are various songs in this one, and the Old King Cole song definitely a highlight. What also struck me is the quality of the animation. For being the 30s, I think it's pretty sensational. And we have all of these different books coming to life, and I'm not going to really tell you anymore, other than the fact that I've mentioned Old King Cole, because part of the fun, for me at least, was wondering which book characters would be involved and which stories would come to life and interact with one another. So I don't want to explain any more about the characters you can expect, but I will say that the selection was pretty good. And it's something that I really thoroughly enjoyed. The way the books themselves were animated, I loved. The songs were engaging. The variety of books, pretty brilliant. There are some horror characters, some horror book characters involved. They were particular highlights as well. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It may be one of my favourite types of animation where book characters come to life. There are actually quite a lot of them. And this for me is maybe the strongest I've seen, the most well animated. The music was the best. The selection of characters was quite wide. I knew most of the characters, which, often for some reason is not always the case. I don't know if that's because a lot of these are American and I'm not that knowledgeable about American literature at the turn of the century. By all means, I've read an abundance of classic English, British, and Scottish literature, but American literature, my knowledge is lacking a bit. So feel free to recommend any to me if you think there are any that I should check out, particularly from the late 1800s, early 1900s. When it comes to classic literature, that's kind of my period of choice. But again, I actually recognised most of these, which just helped to heighten the experience. Without question, Have You Got Any Castles is an absolute delight. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. There are some black characters in this, and some people may think they're being racist, but they're just caricatures. But all of the characters are caricatures, so you can't really, all of them are being caricatures. But there are certain, maybe, books that are a bit questionable, so it's not 100% perfect, and it's not how it would be done today, put it that way. It's not terrible, but by today's standards it wouldn't be done this way. But nevertheless, really, really thoroughly enjoyed Have You Got Any Castles. If you're a fan of animations where books come to life or book characters come to life, or if you're just a fan of Warner Brothers cartoons in general, I'm pretty confident you will love Have You Got Any Castles.